I'm Evelyn Cartwright, 38 years old, born into luxury, raised in the echo of high-end dinners and elite galas. My father, a renowned architect, designed skyscrapers that graced the skyline of San Francisco. My mother was the embodiment of grace and power, a woman who hosted events that drew the city's most influential people to our doorstep. As for me, I was always the quiet one, the practical one, the one who made sure the bills were paid, the laundry folded, the house was immaculate. While my sister, Clara, floated through life like a star, charming everyone with her blonde curls and radiant smile, I was the one left in the shadows, helping, supporting, always in the background. I always thought I would find my moment, too. But when Daniel, my husband of 15 years, told me I was just not enough for him anymore, and that my sister was remarkable, I realized I'd been invisible for far too long. I thought I had built a life that mattered, but it was all built on lies. Clara, who'd always been the golden child, had been taking my place in my marriage, sleeping with my husband, using my money, my trust. And I let it happen. I was always the good one, the one who didn't cause waves. But that night, everything changed. It was the moment Daniel made his declaration that I stopped pretending. I'd been drowning in our marriage, suffocating under the weight of expectations, but when he spoke those words, it felt like something snapped. I was no longer the passive bystander. I was the architect of my own fate. I spent 2 weeks carefully preparing for tonight. The penthouse was booked, the catering arranged, the guests invited. Daniel and Clara would think this was just another luxurious dinner party. They had no idea what was coming. No idea that I had been building something bigger than their fantasy. No idea that they were about to lose everything they thought they had. I stand now in front of the mirror in my black dress, watching the reflection of the woman I've become. A woman who no longer asks for permission. A woman who has taken everything they tried to take from her. I walk into the living room, where the private investigator, Nolan, hands me the final set of documents. The proofs of fraud, the secret offshore accounts, the communications that tie Clara to everything I had built. Everything's in place, Nolan says, his voice low. They'll be here soon. I nod, feeling the finality of it. My heart doesn't race. I'm calm, methodical. This is not revenge. This is reclamation. Let them think they have control, I mutter, staring at the documents in my hand. It's about to slip through their fingers. The doorbell rings. My pulse doesn't quicken, but I can feel the tension in the air. It's time. The first person to walk in is Daniel, wearing that smug grin, the one that always made me feel like I was lucky just to be with him. He pauses, looking around the penthouse, eyes scanning the expensive decor like it's the only thing that matters. He still doesn't know what's coming. Then Clara follows, her lips painted red, her high heels clicking against the marble floor as she leans against Daniel, her hand resting casually on his arm. She looks at me, her expression a mixture of curiosity and smug satisfaction. Quite the place, she says, her voice dripping with condescension. Did you have to pull some strings to get this kind of reservation? I smile tightly. I have my ways. They sit, unaware that every move they make is part of the trap I've set. As they talk, I listen, but it's like a fog. Their words are meaningless. I'm no longer the wife who listens to every word. I'm the woman who controls the narrative. As the waiter brings in the first round of drinks, I stand, signaling the start of the evening. I thought we could start with a little something before the main course, I say, my voice steady. I click a button on the remote. The room goes dark. The screen at the far end flickers to life. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to something remarkable, I say, my voice calm, but the weight of the words carries through the silence. The truth about everything you thought you owned. The first slide flashes onto the screen, revealing the transaction history. Daniel's expensive tastes, Clara's lavish spending, all paid for by the wealth I built. I watch them as they scramble for an explanation, but the words won't come. The truth is there on the screen and it can't be erased. Daniel's eyes widen, the color draining from his face. He stutters, his voice trembling. This isn't real, Evelyn. It's all some kind of mistake. No mistake, I reply, coldly watching his desperation rise. You always told me you were a visionary, Daniel. You just never mentioned it was a vision built on my back. Clara looks at him, confused, her face a mask of shock. But I don't wait for her to process. The next slide appears, revealing the bank accounts, the offshore accounts, the ones Daniel thought he could hide from me. The funds he'd been siphoning from me for months. The hidden transfers to Clara's name. This is what your visionary mind was up to, I say, staring straight into Daniel's eyes. And this is what Clara, my dear sister, has been planning all along. Clara gasps. She stands abruptly, knocking over her wine glass, staining the pristine tablecloth. She stares at me with wide eyes, and for a moment, I see something I didn't expect, fear. But she recovers quickly, putting on a smirk. You think this changes anything? You think you can ruin me? Us. I let her speak, but I already know the answer. I'm no longer afraid of her. I'm no longer afraid of any of them. This changes everything, I say softly, and then I press the button again. The screen flickers once more, revealing a screenshot from my offshore account. $97 million. The room goes silent. They thought I was just the wife, the woman who played second fiddle. They never knew what was coming. But tonight, everything they thought they had is about to slip through their fingers, and they'll never get it back. As Daniel tries to compose himself, a thought crosses my mind. I was planning to let you in on the secret, Daniel, I say almost apologetically. But you had to go and destroy everything. The silence is thick, hanging over us, suffocating. I can feel the tension crackling in the air. I stand, my voice cutting through their stunned disbelief. It's too late. The truth is out. The game is over. And with that, I press the button to reveal the final blow. Cliffhanger. You think this is over? Daniel whispers, desperation clear in his voice. You have no idea what's coming next. The tension in the room is suffocating. The glow from the projector screen casts long shadows across their faces, highlighting the shock and disbelief written on their expressions. Daniel, frozen, looks like a man who's just realized the ground beneath him has crumbled. Clara, her lips parted in a silent scream, is standing up, her knees buckling slightly as she tries to steady herself. She grabs the edge of the table for support, but the tightness in her grip only adds to the tension. They thought they had control. They thought they had everything under wraps. But now, everything they've built, the lies, the manipulation, is falling apart. I let the silence stretch, watching them flounder, trying to reconcile the images on the screen with the life they thought they were living. The truth is a heavy thing, but it feels good to hold it in my hands. Like a weapon, like a shield. You can't do this, Daniel whispers, the words shaky. His arrogance, once so evident, is crumbling. This isn't real, Evelyn. You're just making this up. You can't just destroy everything. I lean forward, my voice low and controlled. You thought you could destroy me, Daniel. You thought you could take everything I built and walk away with Clara. But now, you'll see what happens when you underestimate the person you've been using. His eyes dart between Clara and me. I can see the panic rising in him. There's no exit now. He's trapped in his own web of deceit. I press another button on the remote. A new slide appears. This one is darker, more sinister. A screenshot of my offshore account, showing the staggering sum of $97 million. Their eyes widen in unison. Clara's face goes pale, the color draining as if the life has been sucked out of her. She was never expecting this. She thought she'd be the one walking away with the prize, the one who would take my place, take my husband and everything I had worked for. but she's just as much a victim in this game as Daniel. Do you see that? I ask, my voice cutting through the thick air. That's what you've been spending behind my back. Your remarkable sister has been living off my hard work for years, Daniel. And so have you, Clara. I didn't just build this company. I built your fantasies, your comfortable lives. And now it's time to pay the price. Clara stumbles back, her voice trembling. You don't understand, Evelyn. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I was just what? I interrupt. Stealing from me? Destroying my marriage? Living off my money while I slaved away for everything? She doesn't respond. Her silence speaks louder than any words could. Daniel tries to salvage what little control he has left. He stands, his movements jerky, desperate. We can work this out. We can fix this. There's no need for this to go further, Evelyn. I shake my head slowly, the corner of my mouth curling into a bitter smile. No, this is beyond fixing. You've crossed a line. And now, I'm going to show you what happens when you destroy someone who's been under your thumb for far too long. Before he can respond, I press another button. The final slide appears. A screenshot of the legal documents, the post-nuptial agreement that Daniel signed 7 years ago. The document, once thought insignificant, now holds the key to his downfall. The clause that ensures all assets acquired during our marriage belong solely to me. The clause that he never bothered to read. The clause that he signed because he was too busy chasing his vision and pretending he was an artist rather than a parasite. Remember this? I ask, my voice cold. You thought it was just a formality, but now it's your prison. His face contorts in disbelief. You can't, this isn't legal. Oh, it's legal, I say, my eyes never leaving his. And your lawyer will confirm it when I file for divorce. I've already contacted the authorities. They'll be here soon. You'll have nothing left. Not even the illusion of a creative genius you've been playing at for all these years. The tension in the room snaps, but not in the way I anticipated. Clara, who has been silent up until now, stands up abruptly. Her chair scrapes violently against the floor, the noise loud in the sudden quiet. You think you're the only one who's been wronged, she shouts, her voice full of venom. You think you're the only one who's had to suffer. She takes a step toward me, her fists clenched at her sides. You think Daniel doesn't deserve happiness? You think I don't? You think you have the right to take everything from us? I don't flinch. The anger in her voice is hollow. It's a desperate attempt to regain control of a situation she no longer has any power over. She's playing the victim now, but I see through her. The guilt is written all over her face. She knows she's complicit. She knows she's just as guilty as Daniel. You can't take what's mine, she says, her voice cracking. I lean back, the smirk on my face widening. You've already taken everything, Clara. The life I built, the man I loved, but you'll never take my future. You'll never take what's mine again. The doorbell rings. My heart beats faster, not with fear, but with anticipation. This is the moment. The authorities are here. The life they've been living, this charade, is about to crumble. I stand, looking at both of them one last time. I suggest you start packing, because you have 24 hours to vacate. The authorities will take care of everything else. Clara opens her mouth to argue, but I don't let her speak. Your time is up. Cliffhanger. And by the way, Daniel, I add with a cool smile, I'll be taking that Rolex back. The tension in the room is suffocating. Every breath feels like a battle, as if the walls themselves are closing in. Clara's voice trembles as she stammers, trying to maintain some semblance of composure. But it's too late for that. The damage has been done, and the truth is a weight neither of them can escape. I watch them, my hands folded tightly in my lap. Daniel's face is an unreadable mask, but the sweat on his forehead gives away his panic. He's been cornered, and now, for the first time, he's realizing just how deep he's in. You can't do this, he mutters, though I know he's not speaking to me. He's speaking to himself, trying to convince himself that this is some cruel joke. But it's not. This is real. You're right, Daniel, I say softly, the words cutting through the air like a blade. You can't do this. You can't fix the mess you've made. This isn't some drama where you get to play the hero. You're not getting a second chance. Not this time. Clara's eyes flash with anger, her face turning an unflattering shade of red. She's still reeling, trying to piece together the facts. She thought she had it all figured out. She thought she was winning. But the truth is she's not. She's just another pawn in a game I've already won. This isn't fair, Clara says, voice rising. You've been lying to us, keeping this money hidden for years. How could you do that? I smile, letting the venom in my words sink in. Oh, I didn't lie, Clara. I just kept the truth to myself. There's a difference. And you're just too greedy to realize what you were doing. You thought you could take my place. You thought you could steal my life. But you can't. Enough! Daniel shouts, slamming his hand down on the table. I've had enough of this. You've been hiding behind your money, your lies. You think you can just ruin everything we've worked for. You think you can just... I interrupt him with a cold laugh, and the sound echoes through the room like a warning. You think this was about money? You think this was about the house, the cars, the life you convinced yourself was yours? No, Daniel. This is about respect. About control. About taking everything you've stolen from me and making sure you'll never touch it again. His eyes narrow. You think you've won? You think you've destroyed us? No, I say slowly. I think I've destroyed the illusion. The lie you've been living in. I turn to the screen again, pressing another button. The last slide flashes, this time showing a video. One that Clara hasn't seen yet. A recording from a few days ago when I hired a private investigator to follow her and Daniel. I watch as their faces change, the blood draining from their skin when they realize what's coming. The video starts showing Clara and Daniel, unaware of the camera hidden in the corner of the hotel room. Their conversation is quiet, intimate. The words they exchange, the promises they make, it's everything I need to expose them for who they really are. Did you really think she wouldn't find out? Clara's voice cuts through the screen. She's been so busy with her company, so busy being the perfect wife. She'll never know. She's too predictable. And you, Daniel, you're a genius. You'll get her to sign the papers. You'll take everything. The camera zooms in on Daniel's face, and I can see the smile tugging at his lips. He's complicit. He's been playing this game all along, knowing exactly what he was doing. Of course, he says, his voice smooth, calculated. She'll never see it coming. The room falls silent. The only sound is the soft hum of the projector. Clara's face is frozen in shock, her hands shaking as she reaches for the table. Daniel stares at the screen, his expression unreadable. But I see the flicker of guilt pass through his eyes. It's too late to hide now. The truth is out. You were always a step ahead, Evelyn, Daniel says, his voice low, almost reverent. I didn't think you'd be capable of this. You've played your cards perfectly. And you've played your part perfectly, Daniel. I reply, my voice icy. But this isn't a game anymore. You think you can walk away from the destruction you've caused? You think you'll just slide into your new life with Clara and forget about all of this? No. You don't get to destroy me and get away with it. Clara opens her mouth to speak, but the words catch in her throat. She knows. She knows she's not getting away with this either. I think you both need a little more time to think about your future, I say, standing up and walking toward the door. The room feels too small, the walls closing in on all of us. I suggest you start packing. I'll be in touch with your lawyers. But I'll make sure you both understand one thing. This is my game now. You're just players. As I reach for the door handle, a sudden knock stops me. I freeze, the sound sharp in the stillness. The moment is broken. The tension lingers, thick in the air, but something is about to change. The door opens slightly, revealing the silhouette of a man standing outside. I don't recognize him at first, but then his voice cuts through the quiet. "Ms. Donovan?" he asks, his tone formal. "I'm with the FBI. We need to talk." I turn slowly, a feeling of dread creeping into my chest. The ground beneath me shifts again. This is no longer just about a marriage falling apart. This is something bigger. Something I wasn't prepared for. Cliffhanger. "What's going on?" Daniel's voice shakes. "What do you want from us?" The agent's response is cold. "We're here to talk about the money and the connections we've just uncovered. Your wife's hidden assets, Mr. Donovan. It's time we took a closer look." I stand there, frozen, as the agent's words sink in. The weight of what he's saying hangs in the air, thick and suffocating. Daniel's face shifts from confusion to panic in a heartbeat, and Clara, who had been so sure of herself just moments ago, now looks like a deer caught in headlights. "You think you're safe," the agent says, his voice calm, but the steel underneath it is palpable. "But we've been watching. Every transaction, every move you've made. And it's time you understand that this isn't just about money anymore." I glance at Daniel. His eyes are wide, his lips trembling. He opens his mouth to speak, but no words come out. I can feel the tension between us. This moment, this turning point, feels like it's been building for years. Every lie, every whispered conversation, every stolen moment, now crashing down like a tidal wave. "I didn't," Daniel starts, but his voice trails off, swallowed by the weight of the revelation. The agent doesn't flinch. He's been prepared for this. I know that for sure. "It's not just your wife's hidden assets we're interested in, Mr. Donovan. It's the connections she's made, the people she's been working with. And you, Mr. Donovan, have been a part of that, whether you like it or not." I can feel the air getting thicker, as though something in the room is changing. The walls feel like they're closing in, and the space between us and the agent grows unbearably small. I can hear my pulse in my ears, steady and demanding. I turn to Clara. Her face is flushed now, her hands tightly gripping the chair beneath her. There's a tremor in her voice when she finally speaks. "I didn't know," she mutters, as though trying to convince herself more than anyone else. "I didn't know anything about this." "Don't lie," I say, my words sharp. "You've been a part of this since the beginning. You don't get to play the innocent victim now." Her eyes flicker to Daniel, but he looks away, as though he can't bear to meet her gaze anymore. The cracks in their partnership are wide, and now, like a brittle dam, it's all starting to break apart. The agent doesn't wait for any more denials. "We have records, Ms. Donovan," he says to me, his voice even colder now. "All the money trails lead back to your accounts. We know everything." He pauses, "And we know you've been moving money through offshore accounts. The question now is why?" I can feel my breath hitch in my chest. My mind races, trying to process the information, trying to stay ahead of them. The secrets I've kept, secrets that have been carefully guarded for years, are no longer secrets. But I won't give them the satisfaction of seeing me crack. I won't break. "There's a reason for everything," I say, forcing my voice to stay steady. "And you're going to find out just how far this goes." The agent steps closer, his eyes never leaving mine. "You've got a choice now," he says. "Make it easy for yourself, Evelyn. Tell us everything, and maybe we can work out a deal." My jaw clenches, the tension pulling tight across my chest. I know exactly what he's suggesting, but I've already made my choice. It's too late to back down now. I won't become a pawn in their game. Not again. But the truth is, they don't know everything. They have no idea just how far I've planned for this moment. "What makes you think I'm the one who's going to break, Agent?" I say, stepping forward. "I've been in control this entire time." A flash of something, fear, maybe, crosses the agent's face. but it's gone in an instant, hidden behind a mask of indifference. "We'll see," he says softly. The room is still. The silence stretches out like a taut wire, and I feel every second, every heartbeat pounding in my ears. I take a deep breath, my mind running through the next moves, the next steps. There's something bigger at play here, something they haven't figured out yet. And I'm about to show them just how much of the game they've missed. The agent looks at his partner, then back to me. There's a flicker of something, uncertainty, maybe a little fear, but it's quickly suppressed. The mask is back in place. "We'll be watching you, Ms. Donovan," he says, before turning toward the door. "Of course you will," I reply, my voice cool, almost amused. "But remember this, you've only seen the tip of the iceberg." As they leave, I can feel their eyes on me, but it's not the watchful gaze of an enemy. It's the knowing glance of someone who's underestimated me. The door slams behind them, and I'm left in the silence that follows. But the silence isn't comforting. It's thick with the weight of everything that's just started. And I can't help but wonder, what will be left when all of this finally unravels? Cliffhanger. The phone buzzes on the table, breaking the silence. I glance at the screen. It's a text from an unknown number. "We need to talk. Everything's about to change." The hum of my phone rips through the silence like a gunshot. I glance at the screen. An unknown number, the same one from earlier. The text was simple. Too simple. "We need to talk. Everything's about to change." My heart skips a beat. I don't know whether to feel fear or anticipation. Both sit in the pit of my stomach like a heavy stone. But the truth is, I'm beyond the point of caring. The game has shifted, and I've been playing with fire from the start. I answer without hesitation. "Talk," I say, my voice steady, but underneath there's a storm brewing. The voice on the other end is calm, calculated. "You're in more danger than you think." My stomach tightens. I want to hang up, disconnect from this conversation, cut it all loose, but I can't. Something deep inside tells me that every word spoken now is crucial. "I've been watching," the voice continues. "I've seen what you've been doing, where you've been going. You think you're in control, but you're not. Everything, your assets, your money, your future, has been compromised, and it's only a matter of time before they come for you." I blink, my thoughts swirling. The agent's words from earlier replay in my mind. The meeting was never about the money. It wasn't about the accounts, the offshore transactions. It was about something far bigger. And I don't think I'm the only one who's been kept in the dark. "What do you want from me?" I ask, my voice cutting through the tension. The person on the other end doesn't hesitate. "You'll find out soon enough. But make no mistake, Evelyn, you're playing a dangerous game. It's not just your money they're after. It's you." The line goes dead before I can reply. I stare at the phone, the words ringing in my ears. "You're not in control. They're coming for you." I feel like the walls are closing in. Every move I make, every decision I've ever made, feels like it's being watched. And right now, there's nowhere to run. I sit at my desk, fingers hovering over the keyboard, unsure of what to do next. This isn't just about my family anymore. It's about something much darker, something I didn't see coming. Just then, the door creaks open. Clara stands in the doorway, her face pale. "Evelyn," she says, her voice barely above a whisper. "We need to talk." I don't wait for her to step inside. "Not now, Clara. You don't understand what's happening." Her brow furrows, but she crosses the room to sit in the chair opposite mine. She leans forward, her hands trembling. "I know you've been keeping things from me. From everyone. I saw the records, the offshore accounts. I heard about the meetings you've been having. And I'm scared, Evelyn. I don't know who you've gotten involved with, but I'm scared of what's coming." A rush of emotions floods my chest, but I clamp down on them. I can't afford to show weakness, not now. "You're not the only one, Clara," I say, my voice sharp, "but I need you to listen carefully. There's more at play here than you understand. This isn't just about money. It's about power control. It's bigger than anything we've ever dealt with. I can see the confusion in her eyes, the fear starting to take root. She opens her mouth to respond, but before she can speak, the phone rings again. This time I don't hesitate. I grab it, bringing it to my ear. Evelyn, the voice is familiar now, colder. There's no time left. We're meeting tonight. Be ready. Before I can say anything, the line goes dead again. I look at Clara, her eyes wide with fear. What was that? She asks, her voice shaking. I stand up, pushing the chair back, the sharp sound of it scraping against the floor making my skin crawl. I don't know, I say, my mind racing. But we need to act quickly. Whoever this is, they're not just threatening us. They're preparing to take everything. I walk to the window and look out at the darkening sky. The city stretches out before me, distant and indifferent. But right now, I can't shake the feeling that it's watching me too. Meet them where? Clara asks, still unsure, but starting to understand the gravity of the situation. I turn, locking eyes with her. There's a place, I say, my voice low. A place I've been before. A place where they think they're in control. I pause for a moment, but they're wrong. I'm taking the reins now. I can hear the sound of my own heartbeat in my ears. The tension is building. Every second, every breath feels like it could be the one that breaks everything wide open. We need to go now, I say, my voice steady, but beneath it, a fire is burning. I've had enough of being on the defensive. Tonight, we take the fight to them. The room feels colder now, the weight of what's coming settling over me like a heavy cloak. I turn away from the window, ready to move forward into the unknown. But one thing is clear now, there's no turning back. The phone buzzes again. This time, I know exactly what it means. The final piece of the puzzle is about to fall into place. Cliffhanger. It's time, the message says. The deal goes down tonight. Bring the money, or lose everything. The city lights blur as the car accelerates down the winding street, my heart thundering in my chest. The urgency, the heat of the moment, it all feels too surreal. My fingers tighten around the steering wheel, the cool metal pressing against my palms, grounding me in this reality that's anything but ordinary. I was never supposed to be in this position. The power, the money, the secrets, it was never meant to be mine. It was meant to be theirs. They wanted to control it all. The house, the business, my family, my life. But now the tables have turned. The empire they built, the one they thought was unbreakable, is on the verge of collapse. Sometimes you only get one chance, I think to myself. The words echo in my mind like a mantra, and this time I won't waste it. The phone rings again. This time, it's not the same anonymous number. It's him, Stuart. His name on the screen is a slap in the face, a reminder of everything I've lost. But tonight it's all about what I'll gain. I press answer, my voice cold and controlled. What is it, Stuart? You've made a mistake, he says, his voice shaky, strained. I don't know what you're doing, but you're playing a dangerous game. You can't just walk away from this. We'll fix this together. We'll make everything right again. You still have a chance. I almost laugh. A chance? I echo, my voice low. You're the one who destroyed everything. You. Meredith, please. I still love you, he cuts in, his voice soft now. I never meant for any of this to happen. It was always just about the money. The power. I wanted it for us. For our future. I shut my eyes for a moment, the weight of his words settling into my chest like concrete. But it's too late. I'm done. I've crossed the point of no return. I've been there, Stuart, I reply, my tone cutting through the silence like a blade. I've seen you tear everything apart, and for what? For a fantasy? A life built on lies and betrayal? It's too late for apologies. The line goes silent for a moment. I can almost hear the realization settling in on the other end. The silence is suffocating. And then, a crackling voice, Jocelyn, my partner in this. You're almost there. They're ready for you. Everything is set. I hang up the phone and speed toward the meeting point. This is it. The moment I've been waiting for. The moment when I take everything back. The warehouse looms ahead, its dark outline barely visible in the shadows. The final confrontation is here, and I'm not walking in as the victim anymore. I park the car and step out, the cool night air biting into my skin. My heels click against the pavement, each step echoing in the silence. I've been underestimated my entire life, treated like I was invisible, like I didn't matter. But that was before. Now, the world will see me for who I am, for what I've built. I enter the warehouse, the musty scent of old wood and metal filling the air. The overhead lights flicker, casting long shadows across the concrete floor. And there they are, Stuart, Tabitha, and their crew of sycophants, sitting at a long table waiting for me. They look up as I step into the room. Stuart's expression falters for just a moment. His confidence, the arrogance that once oozed from him, is gone. In its place is fear. I stride forward, every movement deliberate. The tension in the air is thick, the weight of the moment hanging over us like a storm cloud, ready to burst. "You came," Stuart says, trying to sound confident, but there's a tremor in his voice. "I knew you would. You've always wanted this. You've always been part of this world. You just didn't know it." I stare at him. The man I once loved, the man who betrayed me, who destroyed everything I held dear. "You never knew me at all, Stuart," I say, the words a quiet thunder in the room. I glance at Tabitha. Her face is pale, her eyes wide, filled with guilt and regret. But it's too late for her, too. She's already made her bed. Jocelyn steps up beside me, her presence like a silent declaration of war. She's the last piece of this puzzle, the one who kept me grounded when everything seemed to be falling apart. Without a word, she pulls a folder from her bag and places it on the table. I can feel the weight of the documents inside. The final piece, the endgame. Stuart reaches for the folder, but I stop him with a gesture. "No, you're not in control anymore. I am." I take the folder from Jocelyn and flip it open, revealing the papers that will end this charade once and for all. "You thought you had me, Stuart. You thought you could play me like one of your little games. But you forgot one thing. You underestimated me. You underestimated what I'm capable of." His face pales as he realizes what he's looking at, his own destruction. The signatures, the agreements, the bank transfers, the proof of everything he's done, all laid bare. "This is where it ends," I say, my voice steady and cold. "You wanted to control everything, but you forgot that some people don't play by your rules. I built this empire, Stuart, and now I'm taking it all back." He stares at the papers, the weight of his world crashing down around him. "Please, Meredith. I'm sorry. I cut him off, the finality in my voice undeniable. "It's too late." As the lights flicker again, the sound of sirens echoes in the distance, drawing closer. It's over. The storm I've been waiting for has finally arrived. And for the first time in my life, I feel free. Cliffhanger. The truth was always in my hands. And now they'll finally know what it means to be on the other side of the game.